Hi, everyone. It's Lydia with Avanti Creative Marketing. I think this is going to be my last video for today. I'm just cranking out the videos. And, when you're inspired, you got to take action. And I'm feeling inspired today. So there's a couple things I want to share. So I've been in sales and marketing for 30 years, basically. I entered the job market. I graduated in 91 and I entered my first outside sales job was in 92, I believe. So connections, networking, and future opportunities are the way you're going to get ahead in anything you do. So I've noticed, it's very interesting. I've noticed that people are like shy or don't want to accumulate followers. I guess they're thinking like connections. Maybe I'm not sure why, but maybe they're thinking they're going to get too close to 30,000 in their first connections. I don't know. That's a lot of followers. So if you've got that many business colleagues, that's awesome. What I want to just share that I learned from a couple of years in sales and marketing is that people do business with people they like. That's like the primary thing about getting a client or a customer or a job. I'm doing a lot of talking about job opportunities. So even though you think, well, I'm never going to sell anything, if you ever lose your job, you're going to be selling something. You're selling yourself. And that's where people don't think about the fact that they need to be their own marketers. So connections really matter when it comes to you losing a job. The more connections you have, the more chances you have to get connected to the right people to bring the right opportunity to you. In sales, they always say it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game on LinkedIn too, guys, or on social media. That's why people who have lots of followers or connections can write bigger tickets, can create more power for themselves. And what I mean by that is when you decide you want to use your following to do something with it, the companies, the corporations that might invest in you for something. And I'm going to refer to, like, if you ever wanted to write a book, I went to a book publishing workshop in 2015, and they said the number one thing, it didn't matter how cool your book is, the number one thing they're looking for is how much of a social media following you have already, because that actually relates to your desirability as a potential author that's going to sell books. If you could have a following from the kind of content you're writing on social media, they equate that with your ability to sell books. Now, publishers don't necessarily want to write you a check to write your book if they don't think your book is going to sell. So by having the followers who are already following you or connected to you based on the content that you're providing on your social media accounts, that's how you would get a book deal. So that doesn't mean that if you don't have followers, you can't get a book deal. It's just saying that was one of their criteria that they look at and how they make decisions on who they're going to take risk with about writing a book or something, writing, because a lot of times they'll stroke a check for you in advance to get you the book. But a lot of times you get that check stroked. Is that a right word? Striked? What's the word for that? You get a check written to you upon your merit based on their level of risk that they want to take with you, especially if you haven't ever written a book before. All right, I'm just giving that as an example. There's a lot of reasons that you might want followers or connections. Let's just talk about the job market. When you're connected to more people who've been connected to more people, you might need to email someone someday and say, do you know anyone looking for a learning and development specialist? Do you know anyone that's looking for a technical writer? Do you know anyone who's looking for a digital marketing specialist, an SEO specialist? you never know how you're going to get your next job. And I guarantee you that networking and people being connected to people is one of the fastest ways to get a job. So be a little bit more open to connecting with people when people request a connection. Now, if somebody says to me, well, Lydia, the reason I don't do it is because I connect with someone with, positive intentions, and then they start emailing me crap I don't want or trying to sell me something. I'm pretty sure LinkedIn has a way to disconnect from that person, and then they can't email you anymore, or block them or report them. So you have tools at your disposal. You don't have to be so scared about everyone who wants to connect with you. I've connected with a few people, and yes, they send me their little sales email right away. And I just decide, like, okay, well, that's not a connection I'm really that interested in. And if I really don't care about connecting with them, I can remove myself from the connection. Although one day I might write a book. And if he helps me get closer to 10,000 followers in order for my book publisher to validate whether I'm worth taking a risk on, then okay, Mr. I want to sell you my WordPress services or my Canva design services. Sure, you can hang out in my connections as long as you don't bother me. Okay. So I just want y'all to maybe have a different perspective about connecting with people, because people are out there to help each other. There's a lot more good people out there in the world than there are crappy people. And with LinkedIn, when you get a crappy person every once in a while, probably hardly ever, you can just unconnect with them. Okay. So be open-minded in your creative marketing, thinking about how you're going to land your next job or how you're going to land the next sale. Maybe you're a salesperson and you need connections to get connected to people who know people at big companies that you want to sell things to. So it's all about connecting, networking, and you never know what your future opportunity is going to be that you're going to be looking for, even if you're unemployed right now. Don't leave all your eggs in one basket. It's always good to have options. So, unfortunately, I learned that the hard way when I was laid off 6 times in 19 years. So, this is where my wisdom comes from, where all this information is generated from personal life experience. So, I am creating these in order to help provide inspiration when so many people are feeling down and out about their situation. All right. So I will see you online, which is now becoming my signature saying, because when you create videos online, you are actually able to feel more connected. And by the way, videos get 6 times more viewership. So if you don't have a video demonstrating yourself on your profile, give me a ring, email me. Let's get you a video so people can see how amazing you are and why you need to be working for them. Okay. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.